Alrighty, so it has been a hot minute since I've done an actual video. I've been posting tons of my older blog posts all the way back to 2017 on the old YouTube channel. Hope you guys have been enjoying that. I'm hopefully going to be done those kind of end of September, and then caught up to my current writing in the blog, and then you can expect basically a blog post to come out, and then a few days later a video where you get to see one of my hats and a scene from my workday like that. But I want to take a minute just on the side of the road here to talk about something that's kind of been it's been cycling through Twitter the last week or so, and it's becoming a theme, or at least I think it's becoming a theme, and I've commented on a few times, and so I wanted to just to make sure I nailed it down in a more longer form piece of content like this video. And that is these weird political or social generative AI kind of puff pieces. I guess that's what you'd call it. I've been calling it just straight up pornography, and I've got a bit of pushback on me classifying that as pornography because I'm applying it to all of generative AI in a video function. And there's been a bit of pushback, and then I'm trying to really just kind of narrow down kind of what am I actually talking about when I say this kind of stuff. And the pieces in particular, and you can see I've commented on 3 of them. One was a bizarre fantasy using AI to show us what a world might look like if President Trump, soon to be President Trump, I guess he is the President Trump, and hopeful President Kamala Harris, what happened if they got married and had babies. And it was just weird scenes where they're laughing together and going on a date and holding hands, and all of a sudden she's pregnant, and they're doing the belly rub picture and all that kind of stuff. And it was just weird. It was super weird. And I said, yeah, this is indistinguishable from pornography. This is someone's fantasy. They want to see this clearly sexualized version of these two real life people, and that's never going to happen because they're diametrically opposed to each other. They want to see this fantasy so bad, so they asked AI to generate these pictures, and AI did what AI does, and it gave them these pictures. And then the next one to come out was an even more bizarre. It was 1940s, 50s war propaganda, pinup style, ladies who would be posing on the bomber, or in the diner, or we can do this stuff like that, but they're all hypersexualized, that kind of stuff. Except they weren't ladies, they were world leaders. It was Trump and Kim Jong-un and I think Trudeau was in there, and Macron, and it was weird. Putin, no one wants to see pin-up Putin. And again, I made the comment that it was basically, this is pornography. This is pornography, and by any and every metric you would call this pornography, it was pornography. The final one I commented on was the social commentary one, where basically they took all the different fashions, and you've seen videos like this before, but they've done it with real people. They took all the different fashions over the last couple, centuries, or decades, I guess, but it spans about 2 centuries and stuff like that. And they got Taylor Swift, very sexy and all that kind of stuff, to show off all these different fashions, because that's what that person wanted. And what we're dancing around here, what's really the issue, and why this stuff should be considered pornography, is because that's what generative visual AI is. It is the uninhibited procreation of visual media by sinful people, and that's always, I swear, it is always going to lead to pornography. And you see this even in not less pornographic terms, but in less noticeable terms, even in Christian communities. How many Christian content creators out there, or YouTubers or Twitter people, are using visual generative AI to be able to make the pictures that they want? There's just slews of them using this stuff to make Crusader avatars and Crusader pictures that they can then use to to kind of pivot their ideas and to say, what they want about living the trad life and all that kind of stuff. And all they're doing is taking those search terms and that idea, and they're asking AI to give it the image that they can never find in real life, so they have to find it in artificial means. The same way pornography gives you the sexual partner that you want but could never get with actual means. It gives you access to people that would never give you the light of day, let alone go on a date with you, let alone have sex with you. But through pornography you can have them in any position, in any circumstance, at any time of day, in any location, in any hair color, skin color, name your flavor. That's pornography, and that's all AI is doing. And these instances where it gets like real close to it, where you have Kamala Harris and Donald Trump being all flirty and cutesy and kissy and stuff like that. Yeah, that's perversion. That's perverted that someone puts that up, and that is touching. That is really kind of rolling the ugly face forward on this ball before we let it down the slippery slope, and we realize, oh wait, no, all of generative visual AI is pornography. It's pornography in the way that it gives us things that we want that we could normally never get. It gives us, things that we want that don't exist and that can't exist for the most part. It gives us, celebrities we can sleep with, or celebrities that we can see in ways that we can't see, to the point where if you put enough pictures of even people that into one of these things, you could get pictures of that person in ways that you would never be able to see that person. And so it's this invasion and this perversion of real life, and I'm pointing at it with these three examples, the most, pointing at it to show that, hey, look, this is just us acting in a pornographic way towards what these AIs can produce, and that perhaps that's what we're doing regardless whether or not we're asking it to show us something sexual or not. That we are treating generative AI the way someone treats pornography, that they are looking to the generative AI the way someone looks to pornography to fulfill desires that are unholy and unrighteous and unobtainable outside of the medium of pornography being able to deliver that. And that's all AI is. And a great way to just kind of show this to yourself, if you're on the fence and you can't see it, if you can't factor in or kind of like conceptualize how AI, in all of its uses for a visual medium, is basically giving you pornography, the same way that porn gives you pornography when it's filming of actual people do this kind of thing. The best way to do that is to imagine a world without the internet. I know, like John Lennon imagined it, imagine a world where there's no internet, there's no Twitter, there's no email, there's no all that kind of stuff. Maybe we have computers, but we don't have information connection between computers for whatever reason. Imagine a world without the internet, and then one of the tech companies, through the television, let's say, brings you this box, this little black box, all right, that can give you a picture of anything you desire, and says you can take this picture home and you can keep it with you in your front pocket of your jeans that you won't even put down when you go to the washroom. You can take this black box and bring it anywhere, and it will give you pictures of anything that you want. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad, but it can give you pictures of anything that you want. What is that box going to get used for? Be honest with yourself. What is that box going to get used for? That is what AI is. The internet doesn't change that. The internet is where all that stuff ends up. The internet is where the little black box gets all its information to be able to give you whatever you want. But the internet doesn't change what that black box does. That little black box is doing the same thing it would do without the internet, and that little black box is the porn engine that will turn anything. It'll make, cars that you will never drive that are just, irresistible to look at, that you just want to drive. It will give you landscapes that you will never walk, that you will just long to walk on, to go see sights so beautiful that they're just everything that you could ever want. All that kind of stuff. That's what that little black box does. And maybe a better way to put it, maybe a better way to kind of understand that, if you've ever gone fishing, you know that the fishing lures rarely look like things that are actually in the water for other fish to eat. that some of the best fishing lures are wild and crazy and amazing and like just tangentially related to things that the fish are actually going to see. And that's because that's the point of it. It's supposed to get the fish interested and make it so irresistible that the fish, through its instinct, decides to attack and eat this lure, which is actually just a hook so that it can be caught. That, you know, that there are flies that you can tie when you're fly fishing that are nothing but tinsel and bright colors, and no insect in the world looks like that, but it looks enough like an insect that when it lands on the water, the trout can't say no to it. That's what AI is. That's what pornography is. They're the same kind of thing. It's this social commodification of socially commodified objectification. That's what it is. It's socially commodified objectification. It's going to become prevalent in every aspect of life, and we're going to give it a hall pass simply because we can also make, you know, what would it look like if Charles Spurgeon was in a modern context? I want hipster, you know, Jonathan Edwards. I think that would be a good thing. And Christians will give it the hall pass because, you know, they're able to make Christian pornography with it. But the truth is that it's all pornography. Every single bit of it is. And if you take that just step back, imagine the world without the internet, and figure out what you do with that black box as a sinner, and you'll realize what that is. So don't participate in this stuff. Don't participate in the use or the, you know, the data gathering that these companies get from you because you're using their generative AI. Make real art, which is an expression of your Holy Spirit's gifting in your life. Make real, you know, pictures. Take, you know, go see real things. Take real trips. You know, work on real cars, that kind of stuff. Like all the things that this will give you, that the AI will give you access to that you wouldn't normally have access to. Well, go find those real things and live a real life. Because all that the AI is a way for you to pornify your life. And that is one of the most horrible things that has come out of this whole kind of project with generative AI, large language models, large image models, all that kind of stuff. It's just terrifyingly dark, and it's only getting darker. And I worry that we're just at the top of the slippery slope, and it only goes down from here. So don't participate, and call it out for what it is, that it's pornography. That the AI generation that is currently happening right now, where you can ask this little black box for anything that you want to see so that you can possess it, that is the same behavior as someone using pornography. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos. We'll talk to you soon.